Tenkaichi is one of my personal favorite manga of all time, and I can't express how hyped I am to see that it finally got an anime announced. And I don't know what studio is picking it up, but if they ruin it, I will riot. Because this manga has some of the best character development, fights, and art that I've seen. Here's a quick summary. Oda Nobunaga, the ruler of Japan from the mid to late 1500s, is nearing his death, and instead of passing on the right to rule in a normal manner, he wants to hold a battle tournament among his retainers as to who can find the strongest martial artist. Each of these fights are bangers, and almost all the characters are based off of historical figures, and it's really cool to compare these characters to their historical counterparts, as well as their interpretations in other manga, like Vagabond and Record of Ragnarok, for example. But I think Tenkaichi has some of the best interpretations of these characters. And there have been many battle tournament manga, such as Baki, Kengan Ashura, Kengan Omega, and Star Striker Rich, Record of Ragnarok and Apocalypse of the Gods, Tokyo Duel, The War of Greedy Witches, Tenkaichi, and The Doomsday is Wartime. And while the concept of battle tournament might get old after a while, I believe it's a good storytelling opportunity to get the audience to root for a number of characters as if they were the protagonist, because they often give in-depth backstories for the characters in each fight. So while I think all of the previously mentioned manga are good in their own right, and I want to cover them in the future, I believe Tenkaichi has perfected the formula. They don't have a main character, so the fights are more unpredictable on average. The battle arenas are different each time and usually impact the fight directly. Each fighter has a sponsor with their own reasons for wanting to become the ruler of Japan, leading to more possibilities for character depth through their reasons for supporting their sponsor. And even though Kengan Ashura's fighters had sponsors, you barely got to know most of them, and all the backstories in Tenkaichi are amazing, and every character is entertaining. Most of those other manga have several bad to mid fights. Even the worst fight in Tenkaichi is pretty good, though. The consistency in their level of quality is unmatched. Not to mention, the art is beautiful. Azuma Kiyotaro has a great detailed art style that captures emotion well and shows the flow of movement well, too. They also did the art for Versus, another amazing manga. And Nakamaru Yosuke did an amazing job writing the story. Lastly, I want to give you a small preview of each of the fights in the first round. First, we have Honda Tadakatsu versus Miyamoto Musashi. Tadakatsu is a famed military general coming out of retirement as a favor for his old friend Ieyasu, and Musashi is one of the most famous swordsmen in history for his skill and has been portrayed in media time and time again, most notably Vagabond. But he's portrayed here as a child prodigy who's looking to hone his talents, and we're already off to a good start with this fight. And as far as the fights in these manga go, I believe Tenkaichi had the best first fight. Second is Toda Sagan versus Fumiko Taro. Sagan is the classic trope of the blind old swordsman, and he's fighting to carry on the swordsmanship of a close family member. Kotaro, on the other hand, is a badass ninja who isn't afraid to fight dirty, and she's the sixth ninja to take up the mantle of Fumiko Taro, and it's really cool to see how she did so. I love the way these characters trash talk each other, and this is another really good fight, and this is the one that really hooks you into the story, and I think they knock it out of the park with the backstories for this one. Third is William Adams versus Yagyu Munamori. Adams is an English swordsman who's come to Japan and just kind of wants booze and women, but he has the skills to instantly convince his sponsor to recruit him. And Yagyu, on the other hand, is a master swordsman known for his ruthless nature. Despite being technically the worst fight in the series relative to the others, it's still pretty good, and both characters are really entertaining. The fourth is Kamizumi Isino Kaminobutsuna versus Hino Choko. Kamizumi here is regarded as a living legend and one of the most skilled swordsmen of all time, and Choko is a sumo wrestler and a living legend in his own right due to his insane natural physique and being one of Nobunaga's best warriors along with Yasuke. This is not only the best fight in the series, but my favorite fight in all of fiction. Amazing character development, amazing ending, just peak fiction. The fifth fight is Satori Hanzo versus Sasaki Kojiro. Hanzo is a ninja known for fighting dirty to make up for his lack of strength, and he fought alongside Tadakatsu. Kojiro is another famous swordsman known in our history for losing his duel with Musashi at Ganryu Island. And here he's portrayed as a natural killing machine who always follows orders, and he was shaped into such by Kanamaki Jisai, who did so as a way to get revenge on his previous pupil, Ito Itosai. This is a spectacular follow-up to the fourth fight, being my second favorite fight in the series, and having an ending that's just as good. The sixth fight is Togo Shigekata versus Yasuke. Shigekata is a swordsman depicted as being able to land one of the most immensely powerful single strikes and as someone who practically gave up his humanity to get to this point. And Yasuke was the first and only African samurai, and he was also known for his great skill with his shield. And as mentioned before, he was one of Oda Nobunaga's men, but now he puts his trust in Oda Nobukatsu, Nobunaga's son, who went against his father's wishes because he wants to rule peacefully. And Yasuke, sharing the same desires, has vowed to protect him. And once again, this is a really good fight. This is a great portrayal of the ultimate offense versus the ultimate defense, and it also has a banger ending. The seventh fight is Hozuin Inshun versus Hayashizaki Jinsuke. Inshun is a monk who is another child prodigy, but instead of continuously honing his talents like Musashi, he kept them hidden because he hurt someone he cared about. And Jinsuke is a man who is so angry at his weakness for failing to protect a family member and how the gods never helped him. So he studied the human body intensely so he could become strong enough to get revenge on the man who killed his father and surpass even the gods. This fight was amazing, an amazing portrayal of the raw talent versus hard work trope. The eighth fight is Ito Itosai versus Ogasawaru Nagaharu. Tenkaichi only has 50 chapters out at this moment in time, so we have yet to see this fight, but it's looking to be a good one. Itosai is another swordsman, and as mentioned before, was Kanamaki Jisai's previous pupil, and after calling his former mentor weak, Itosai went on to develop his skills further. Nagaharu is a martial artist that claims Japanese martial arts is still in its infancy and is here to enlighten everyone with the power of Chinese martial arts. I can't wait to see how this fight plays out. Both of these characters have been shaped up to be pretty interesting. Tenkaichi also does a good job of getting you hyped for the fights and getting you to root for the characters. I always enjoy trying to predict the victor of them because they do such a good job of making them unpredictable. They might lead you to believe a certain character has to win due to plot relevance and then switch it up on you. I can't express how good this series is and that you should give it a chance. I got hooked into reading Battle Tournament manga years ago because of Record of Ragnarok, and I think its popularity is what caused so many other authors to try to put their own spin on the Battle Tournament concept, especially those that involve historical figures, and Tenkaichi takes the best elements of its predecessors and learns from their mistakes to make the best version of the formula yet. But if you found any of this interesting, I'll be covering Tenkaichi chapter by chapter in future videos, as well as most of the other manga I previously mentioned. So, in conclusion, read Tenkaichi, it's peak.